You know, not gonna lie, ever since we got into the G era and we got this like new background music and everything, I've really been enjoying it. You know, I still haven't gotten tired of it, which, you know, it's been almost half a year now. Still not being tired of this music is definitely a good thing. Welcome folks, today we're catching up on clan events, and of course you guys in Global finally have the Genesis clan event that just started with Fenrir, and let me tell you, it's a good little clan event. In general, clan events have been pretty good, minus like Great Nature for the time being, and like I guess OTT Wave 1 wasn't super good, but Wave 2 kind of made up for it. And so today we're going to take a look at Fenrir. Now Fenrir, as I said before, is a really good deck actually. It's a deck you can easily climb with, but it takes a lot of concentration and a lot of like, you know, time management, especially because the amount of times I've timed out with this deck is more than other decks, so that's for sure. But the reason why I'm doing Fenrir today is because I also want to do Yasuya, but Yasuya's been out for a little while also for you guys in Global, so I don't think it's as like much of a like rush for some people. But I do ask you guys in the comments to tell me which deck and fights you want to see next. I think I'll do Yasuya after this one because I still want to cover that, because I think the deck is actually quite good, and I think like in general the clan events are basically the free-to-play's best chance at having some of the best decks in the game, because Yasuya is really decent, Fenrir is quite good, Spikes look really good, like OTT got better after the second wave as well, Novas have been good ever since release, so in general like Vanquisher is one of the best decks too, so the clan events really are quite decent, and I think they're a good way to kind of keep up with the meta in this game too. But today we're going to take a look at Genesis, and this list I initially worked on this with the help of YJ Noob, who is one of my community members, and so let's take a look at it and break it down together. So as you'll notice, the majority of the cards in here are mostly new, with I think mostly only grade 2s having old cards in them. So let's break it down, right? First things first, we have Mr. Fenrir. So this is really like a deck that you guys that have completed the clan event or are trying to complete the clan event can really get into. So Fenrir is the Stride Bearer. His GB2 is actually pretty useful. When he attacks the Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 3 to give him a crit. Not bad, gets a PG out of their hand, you know, if you have like a strong booster or if they've used most of their heal guards by then. And when you stride over him, this is really important, when you stride over him, compulsory Soul Charge 3. This is a deck that gets pretty close to decking out, and you have to really manage your deck very carefully, so keep in mind that when you're striding, you draw 1 and Soul Charge 3, so you lose 4 cards from deck per stride. So you Soul Charge 3 and then give your Vanguard the following ability. Once per turn, when a card from your soul goes to the drop zone, you can -1 to call that card. So you basically grant anything you Soul Blast a chamomile effect, which is really cool because that essentially lets you reach 5 attacks really consistently in one turn, which is very good. So it just gives your Vanguard that skill, so whenever the Soul Blast happens, whether it's in main phase or in battle phase, you can use it. And of course, when placed on Vanguard Circle, gain 3k. So he's already a really good Stride Bearer, right? He sets up your soul, he gives you a chamomile effect that's floating on every single card you have, and also a useful GB2. Now, the backup grade 3 you might be surprised by. You're like, Wise Man. I mean, if you're a TCG player, you probably have a bit of PTSD looking at this guy, but you're like, this guy's a 10k base grade 3 with an on-attack Soul Blast 3 gain 4k for that battle. How can this possibly be good? Well, I'll tell you that this is actually one of the most important cards in the deck right now. This card essentially says that you can go into a stride that doesn't have a battle phase Soul Blast, and you can essentially swing with him unboosted into an opponent's 11k Vanguard and Soul Blast 3, Soul Blasting things like Chamomile, Soul Blasting things that trigger Fenrir's on-stride effect to call something out that then gets you more attacks. So what you can do is swing with anything into a rear, and then swing with Vanguard into rear, swing with him into Vanguard, Soul Blasting something that you call over the other rear that attacked, potentially another Wise Man, who will then Soul Blast 3 again and call out maybe a chamomile that can then attack again. So he doesn't have the infinite loop that you know him for in the TCG, but he's rather used as an extender, as an actual combo enabler for first stride in particular. So he's a very useful card, and having 3 is pretty good because we don't have the space to run 4, unfortunately, because we have to run some Dreaming Dragons, 2 or 3 if you're not comfortable with 2. But if you have 2 of him, if you have 1 of him on the field and 1 of him in the soul, you can do that play of like Soul Blasting out a Wise Man to revive him, and then Soul Blast again, and then, you know, make more attacks. So having 3 is pretty good because you want 1 in the field, 1 in the soul usually. And then 2 Dreaming Dragon, which again, you can play 2 Wise Man, 3 Dreaming Dragon is probably fine, but his skill is GB1 Rearguard Circle. At the end of your turn, from Rearguard Circle, you can put him back to the deck, and then put all cards from your drop zone that are not heal triggers back to your deck and shuffle it. and then if you put 10 or more cards back to your deck, you draw a card. This is literally the only way we don't deck out. You have to essentially use this every single turn from the turn you start striding and just keep your deck afloat. Make sure you don't deck out, because you will deck out, and like, it's such an important card. You have to make sure you call this out with Fenrir Stride skill when you Soul Blast it, or you have one in hand that you use when things are getting a bit dangerous. I've talked about her a lot as well, but Chamomile is very important. When she's Soul Blasted, you can almost one and call her. She gets plus 3k, so 12k attacker. If you also call out the Dreaming Dragon, they make a 16k line, so that's also pretty good. Then we run 2 copies of the Grappa, just kind of fix Soul. I don't really use her that much, so you can definitely cut her for like a 4th copy of the Hesperus. Hesperus is quite useful because we can Soul Blast her in the main phase with our first stride, and then she will give the skill to the Vanguard when she's Soul Blasted, that when the Vanguard attacks the opponent's Vanguard, you can retire an opponent's rear. So you get to take care of some annoying back rows like Awakening Messiahs and things like that. So that's already good. And our new grade 2 that we play here is the Flying Carry. So Carry says GB1 when placed on rear, Counterblast 1 and Soul Charge 3. That's already pretty good, but he then says if you have a copy of himself in a soul, he draws 1 and countercharges. So it's literally on play Soul Charge 3, draw 1 is what the effect is. So you want to ride him. He has 8k base power, which kind of hurts sometimes, but generally speaking it is okay. It's just that Soul Charge into a draw that's very nice for finding your pieces in particular. Then of course countercharging PGs, nothing too surprising there, Stride Fodders / Fenrir Searchers, and then we play 3 copies of the Claimer Harry. Claimer Harry is very useful because we do use a lot of counterblast in this deck, especially on those like, you know, big battle phase combo turns where you're using Fenrir, you're using your Chamomile and things like that, and then you might be, you know, just running out of CB over time. So he says GB1 rearguard circle once per turn. When a card goes from your soul to your drop zone that is not a heal trigger, you can choose to put that card to the bottom of your deck, and if you do, you countercharge 1. So it's very nice just to also keep your deck afloat. If you don't have the Dreaming Dragon, this will keep you from decking out as well. So it's a very important card. I think 3 of us fine, because then we have space for 2 copies of the Hati. Hati says GB1 rearguard circle. When a card goes from your soul to the drop zone, he gets plus 1k. So he can become a really chunky booster, which is nice, especially if you want to make a strong GB2 column with the Fenrir as well to use that crit. We use the Lading as the starter. This is a very nice start. It got nerfed, sadly. It's not as good as it was in the TCG at one point, but still pretty nice. GB1, you can put him to soul and give your Vanguard the following ability. When a card is sent from your soul to the drop zone that is not himself, so not the Lading, you can counterblast 1 and call it. So essentially gives a Chamomile skill to your Vanguard, so that if you don't have any Chamomiles, you can basically use his skill and the Fenrir Stride skill to still call 2 cards from your soul. So it's a nice little backup, but usually it's going to stay on the field and just be a 5k booster, because he also can't be retired by effect, so pretty good for some matchups like Vanquisher and whatnot. So that's basically the main deck. It's, you know, of course, 4 heal guards we didn't talk about, but pretty self-explanatory. Then for the strides, our first stride, it really depends on if we have Wise Man in hand or not. If we have a Wise Man, then we go into the Doom Brace. Doom Brace is really nice because he has a once per turn Vanguard Circle ability. You Soul Blast 3 and then choose 2 of your rear guards and give them plus 5k. And then after using that, if you have 2 or less cards in Soul, you Soul Charge 3. So he literally refunds his own cost. Now the reason why this is very nice is because if you are on a Wise Man, you will call 2 back rows to, like, you know, your left and right columns, and you'll use a skill to power them up. And then, you know, he might refund you the Soul Charge too, you know, so that way you still have like 5 soul. And then you'll be able to attack with the Wise Man unboosted and basically call something to a column that has a huge booster on it, like a 12k booster. That way you can hit over defensives, right? So that's like the best part about him, because then if you go into the Doom Praise, you don't have a battle phase Soul Blaster on your Vanguard Circle anymore, but you have Wise Man. But if you don't have Wise Man and you need to do a battle phase Soul Blast in order to bring out your Chamomiles and stuff, then our first stride is going to be the Dion. Dion's skill is on hit Vanguard, Soul Blast 3. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 of them to your hand, put the rest into your soul. So she refunds 2 of the Soul Blasts, but also lets you add a card to hand, whether it's a Stride Fodder, a PG, or just a grade 2 you want to call down later on. It's gonna be pretty good, and she also helps to set up your soul so you can find some like important pieces that you want in there as well. So she's a really good first stride as well, especially if you see that you don't have good combos, or like your power lines aren't gonna get over defensives, you know, the way that they would with Doom Brace. This is a good first stride to go into as well. And then once our opponent's at like 5, obviously the on-hit won't be doing anything. So then we're either going back into Doom Brace and doing combos with the Wise Man, or doing, you know, combos with Chamomile and stuff, or we can go into our 2 copies of Vanguard. So Vanguard is the GR, and he says GB2 when he attacks the Vanguard, Soul Blast 6 and G Persona Blast, and for that battle he gets the following ability. At the beginning of the drive step, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck and rearrange them on top of your deck in any order you want. And then the remaining cards you don't put on top will go to the bottom instead. So this card is really good, obviously, because it lets you stack your triggers. You look at top 4, you put the triggers on top, and like if you have a draw, you put something you want to draw into on top as well, and then the rest go to the bottom. So then that way you can also control what you're going to damage check later on. You can control what you're going to soul charge if you have any soul charge abilities after that. So it's just a good card, but it doesn't plus. It doesn't get us any cards. It doesn't, like, you know, obviously the soul blast effect will trigger things like Kamomile, so that will get us cards in a way, like one way or another, but he's just there for the pressure and basically there to go into, and our opponent's at like 5 damage, right? So that's why I don't think he's like an insane GR, and I think having 2 copies is perfectly fine, and you can dedicate more G-Zone space to Doombrace. You can play a Blitza if you want to like prioritize the GB2 if you want, but I personally don't value the GB2 that highly, and you usually have space for the one of Harmonix Messiah for the Link Joker matchup, which can definitely come up, especially currently. Like, I'm playing this in the set 6 meta here in JP, so I'm gonna run into stuff like Chaos and Deleters and Messiahs all over the place, so it can be pretty important. So that's the deck, basically all explained. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys, and hopefully for those of you playing in global, this gives you a good idea of how to build the deck too. But with that, let's get into it and play some games. I will try my best, but I definitely get pressured by the timer quite a bit, and I was playing this deck a lot while streaming the other day too, and like entertaining the chat while playing this deck is really stressful because there's just so many things you have to take care of. So I'll do my best. Okay, let's see. We're playing against, ooh, wow, it's the Link Joker matchup, but like, you know, the Legion Mate, the Legion Mate era. We're going first, which is actually quite unfortunate. Going second is always optimal with decks like this that rely on striding a lot. We don't have grade 3s yet, so we'll keep 1 PG in hand, but the other one isn't as important. And of course, riding a Chamomile is also pretty good. Here, what's actually the better ride target? I feel like probably riding the Hati is probably better, I feel like. Because we have better base power too. So we'll go into the Hati. I have to turn on animation, so let me pass the turn and do that. Of course, you know, I'm playing without the shield on my skin, so I don't have any amazing animations to show you guys. Actually, no. Here's my tip. This is a exclusive DifferentFight gameplay tip. Turn off animations when you play this deck, because animations cut into your timer and you will lose because of timeout. So unfortunately, I don't have any animations to show in the first place, but especially for this, we're not going to go with any animations. Also, hello, I still don't have a grade 3 in hand? Like, concern? Concern? So it looks like my opponent's playing Messiahs, which is fine. And I hope I can find a grade 3 here. We don't. Not even as a trigger, which hopefully that will come upon us very soon. So here's hoping. Here's hoping. Alright, my opponent is looking to play an interesting lineup. We don't see the Dark Metal Chameleon that much. Like, you generally don't have space for it either. Destiny Guardian, of course, or Destiny Dealers rather, is going to be searching out the Alter Ego. I, on the other hand, do not have a Stride Fodder to search with. It hits a crit. I hope I hit a draw into a Fenrir. That would be optimal. Okay, we got a Fenrir. Into a Fenrir. Perfect. Just as requested. Alright, that's good. That's good. Another Fenrir comes by. That's also good. So here, I want to be a little bit careful with what I call down because, of course, you know, we're playing as Messiahs, but I do need to push some damage. I think we can commit one of these because if it's Messiah, it's going to get soft locked anyway, so it's kind of okay. To like just have it unlocked again next turn. Just don't call a back row so you don't get that permanently locked. So he gets defensive draw, but we don't mind because we're hitting for like 19k power on the Vanguard circle. Stride Fodder goes down to the damage, or to the bottom of the deck rather, not the damage. We heal, which is good. That's another card we can put back with our Mr. Dragon once we hit him. For the time being we haven't, but of course next stride turn we're going to be at 5 soul anyway. So for now, as you can see, we haven't actually hit the Wise Man yet, so we're probably going to be going into the what's her name, Athena? It's not Athena, right? It's Dione, right? Athena is someone else. Dione will probably be our first stride here, just to kind of push our opponent to 5, and then we can try to finish with either Doombrace if we hit a Wise Man by then, or if not, then just Vanguard. So both cases are pretty good. Okay, so he's going for the combo turn, which is why I'm... I mean, I technically gave him another target to lock, but he would have just locked my starter here anyway. It really depends on if he has, like, the grade 3 that can lock my back row. Okay, there's no Waking, so that's gonna lock the... okay, he has big combo. Luckily, I have, like, a heal and, like, 2 PGs in hand, so I should be okay to survive this, but... Man, what is it with all these deck and fights lately, and I just keep facing against freaking Messiahs? It's pretty wild. Okay, defensive off the start is pretty good. A little, like, you know, it's we'll take every little bit counts. Okay, there it goes. He's gonna lock that, so he has 4 locked cards, and that means he gets a huge ass power buff to the front. This does give +5 for every lock card, so it's +20. No pressure, no pressure. Of course, that means, you know, this is swinging for 36. God damn, dude. Alright. Can you hit blanks? Yeah, he hit blanks. Good. If I hit a defensive here, then that means he's gonna struggle to power through with the rest. Okay, we don't hit a defensive. This one's gonna hit for 33. He's gonna restand it. Make it up 35. We hit a draw. There's a wise man. That's actually pretty good. 38 will hit again. He's gonna hit, yeah, unlock that. And then that's gonna be it. So that's didn't hurt as bad. You know, didn't get my PGs out at least. So still a good combo. Good little combo for sure. Oh, he didn't use this. Is he already out of alter egos? I guess he has them in hand then. Which tells me some interesting details about his hand then. So we didn't draw into any wise men. I do not have any wise men in my hand, unfortunately. Okay, we're gonna go into the Dion because we don't have wise man. That's literally as simple as it is. Like, just very simple. So Dion. Strike Fighter for next turn is good. We're gonna soul charge. There is a wise man there. Double chamomile is pretty good too. We could call a Fenrir here and then just overcall afterwards with the chamomiles, or like chamomile plus whatever else. I think we have a grappa we can overcall with too. I kind of want to keep the wise man in the soul for now because we can use the Fenrir skill next turn to kind of call him out if necessary with the Doom Brace and stuff. So I think we can do this. I was meant to call freaking Fenrir there, my bad. I mean, it's okay, we're gonna get double grade 2 anyway. So with this, we can swing like this, and then Dion's gonna hit, and if we get triggers, we put them on the claimers, and then we're good. So let's swing, 31, we get a chamomile off the top, a hati, and stand trigger. My numbers are whack. My numbers are a little whack. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. What defensive does he get? He doesn't get defensive. So the most important thing is to make sure we can hit. I think I need to still do this. I'm thinking. I kind of want to just go for this because the +3 is really important actually. We'll do the grappa just to refresh the soul, I think. So not gonna use Fenrir's skill here. We have like all the counterblast to burn through anyway. We can add the stand trigger to hand for next turn actually. Soul charging, I guess the heal would have been better actually, considering this is a combo deck. Alright, come on. Let's just overcall you guys real quick so we can hit the right numbers. Because then that other column, if he doesn't hit defensive, you know, we're just playing to win here. So the stand didn't really matter too much there, but it's okay. Alright, Calmas. Then we use this just to knock deck out, so get the counter charge so we don't, you know, lose any cards. Bada bing, bada boom, and then use grappa just to get some non-triggers in the soul too. Okay, that's good. We hit the right targets actually. Alright, if it doesn't get defensive, our last attack will also connect, so that's also pretty good. Okay, so we can get a heal guard out of the hand here. Boom! And there it is. Okay, that's fine. Pretty good first strike turn. I probably should have added the heal to hand off of the Dion there, because obviously the stand I can call out with Fenrir's skill. But I guess I was thinking I was gonna call out the wise man there. So that was a bit of a misplay for sure. Definitely could have played that a little bit better. But let's see if we can survive this one, right? Because of course it's gonna be a pretty big turn. Goes for the big crunch. I'm probably dead. Probably dead. Especially if he has an unlocker. He's gonna lock the awaking here. Oh, he's not. Interesting. Does he have a booster? Or is his hand just full of grade 3s? If he has a booster behind the awakening, then I'm screwed. If he doesn't, then I'm kind of okay. Okay. He doesn't. There's a slight ray of hope. But I definitely misplayed by not adding the heal. Misplayed so bad. Yeah, he saw triple blank last turn, so there's no way he's not going to see a trigger here. Alright, well, we're probably going to have to hold that. Link Joker definitely having a good time against me here, and I misplayed by not adding the heal. That's like the biggest pain factor. So I was focusing too much on not decking out, and instead took a fat L. So, unfortunate, but that was a Dion first strike turn. Hopefully this next game we can open with a Wise Man so I can show you like the whole point of Wise Man as a card in general. Alright, let's see who the second one is. Please don't be Link Joker again. God damn it, this is what I was talking about, dude. Everyone is playing Link Joker right now. Like, at least we're going second. We get first right. But, man, everyone is on Link Joker right now. It's pretty insane. We have a pretty good hand, though. We're going to ride the Hati. We're going to have Strike Fighter. Wise Man opened up, too, so we can do some combos. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now it's just a question of what we're going to draw into after that. We're playing against Chaos, which is... Interesting. Interesting. Rise the Stride Fodder. Alright. So far, nothing too spicy revealed. I wonder how people are playing their Chaos lists, because I think Chaos right now, in set 6, really needs Legions. Otherwise, you just deck out and die. Like, it's pretty tragic. Ooh, we hit the stand, but it's actually not too bad, because we already have one in hand, so, like, we know for a fact that we will be recycling these. And that also means that we won't... Like, we're not playing as the leader, so we're not going to lose those from the drop either. Interestingly, he plays this guy. So this is the Text Vanguard. If you have a Starvader Vanguard, discard a Starvader to gain 5k and on hit, Soul Charge 1, Counter Charge 1. I mean, it's good, yeah. Okay, he does play Garnets. You really do need to play a lot of Garnets, because Zinc, you know, Soul Charges 2 every time you use it. So that definitely goes through a lot of your hand, you know, a lot of your hand. Alright, I'm gonna ride this guy, the 8k. And just swing. I'm scared of Chaos locking my front row, so gotta play carefully. We got a draw, which is good. Our attackers aren't super great right now. Like, we have basically double Wise Man. And overcalling Wise Man over Wise Man, like, is... it's okay. It's fine. It depends what kind of front row he develops here. So I'm assuming Ride Chaos. Ride the Malepitant. How do you have space for these cards? Like, because I think you gotta play Photon in this deck too. Right? It's Garnet Star, so it's not Chaos. It's a bit less scary, I guess. But, okay, Photon goes down. Gonna lock my starter? Nah, okay. Giving me a front row is interesting. That gives me a swing target with the first Wise Man. And I can show off some nice combos with the first, right? So that's good. Alright. Pretty dry damage checks, but it's okay. Hati would have been nice in hand, to be honest. That's our last one there. Ooh, that's a good low draw. Alright. Go into Fenrir. And go into Doombrace. Discarding Stride Fodder. We already have 2 grade 1s in hand anyway, so it's quite okay. Worst case, next turn we have to Stride Harmonics. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so we can do some combos here. Just gotta play fast. Soul Charging a Chamomile, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, call you. Call the Stand Trigger here. Then call Wise Man and call you. Yeah, let's use these skills first. Actually, technically I should have used the... should have probably used Doombrace first and not... Check out. Ooh, he Soul Charged a Wise Man. That's pretty good. So we're gonna Soul Blast 3 here. Soul Blast 3, and basically you want to Soul Blast stuff you want to put back the deck. So like draws and Stride Fodder. I think that's probably the best things to Soul Blast here, just for the power up to give here. So that's good. And then, so we have one problem. The grade 2 isn't hitting enough. We're gonna put back the PG here already, even though the stand's gonna put it back anyway. Theoretically, I guess I could... I don't want to use this yet. Don't want to use this yet. So technically, I think we might have to overcall this, because here we committed a booster for no reason then. I think we might have to overcall. But it's okay, because we're going to put back more stuff with Dreaming Dragon this way, so it's okay. It is a minus, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Alright, so here, we're going to swing. And then we have a Wise Man in here, so we can do is swing with this, Soul Blast the Wise Man, you and you. We don't have enough soul. We don't have enough soul for the full combo, which is a bit annoying. Damn it. It's a bit annoying. So we're gonna use this to basically do this. Yeah, I messed up my soul charges a little bit here. Unfortunate, unfortunate, but the numbers are hitting nicely. Heal whiffed. Perfect sight for me. Alright, swing with this. It's gonna hit now. So we can't do double Wise Man there anyway. And then this is gonna swing. If we hit a stand here, I don't think we have any stands left anyway, so it would be pretty hot, but alas. Damn, triple dry? Dry, dry, dry? That's how it's gonna be? Okay. So here, we're gonna basically pass. The stand trigger will activate. We won't get the draw from it, but we do save one spot on the field, and, you know, most of our drops on, which is also good. If we had hit one trigger there, that wasn't a heal, we would have been able to... Or if I didn't mess up the Soul Blast order, would have also been fine. Goes into the Chaos Bringer, which means he can Chaos 1 and lock one of my back rows. Probably relating, yeah. That makes sense. Although, technically I should have used it last turn. Goes the Bane phase. I'm assuming... It's interesting. Okay. Do you have another lock? Do you have another lock? You do have a Photon. It's pretty annoying. Not gonna use the Photon. Okay, not using the Carbon either to search out a grade 1 that can hit for that column. So I'm guessing he's gonna swing into my Wise Man and take it out. Which means next turn I'm gonna be on 5 damage. I have all the counterblast I want. And I can probably go into Vanguard. No, I don't have enough soul for Vanguard. Unless we have a Grappa. we have a grappa? No, we don't. Swing to rear, that's fine. So that means this turn... No, we... Can we go into Van again? No, we can't. It's not worth the effort. Okay. Chaosbreaker goes in, and then we draw a Chamomile. We have a Wise Man, so we can do some combos, but the combos are a bit awkward. So what we can do here is going to Harmonics, discarding this, and I'm going to discard the Chamomile for the unlock, and then call a Wise Man, and we can do a bit of combo. just a crumb of combo. I think this works, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're going to Harmonics. This will Soul Charge 3. What do we get? Ooh, PG drawn as well. I guess let's do this first. Just unlocking this. Okay. And then there we go. Fenrir skill, Soul Charge 3. There's a heal that's perfectly okay. And then we can call this. And essentially here what we do is swing it to rear. And then Vanguard will swing it to rear. And then we will call out a Chamomile. Basically, that's good enough, I think. Oh, wait a second. Brain. What's the best play here? I think we still go with the original plan. So we give power here, and that's gonna swing into a heal guard, and then we're gonna overswing, basically. Just gonna keep pushing attacks. So this is gonna swing into a heal guard. Then we're gonna swing to the Wise Man here. So this is gonna swing. We're gonna Soul Blast these. And then we're gonna call out the Chamomile by our own skill. So we still have another swing. So this will proc. Come on. Do this. There we go. Claimer Harry will also proc here so we can recycle something. And also countercharge. So let's use Claimer Harry. Put that back. Countercharge. What could I call if I use this skill? Okay, don't want to. That's fine. Another heal guard goes down. 3 cards in hand. Show me another heal guard or PG. Doesn't have one, so this could be game, and it is. Nice. All right. Vanguard doesn't even exist. I don't even know. Nice. We somehow, like, my opponent, obviously, I guess he didn't have great threes. So he went into Chaos Bringer when he could have gone. I'm like, in the first strike turn for Chaos is pretty awkward because if they can't go into the Chaos Strike because it needs a Chaos Heart, which the Legion is not. So that's the risk you run by running Garnet Star, obviously. But I mean, we still had to play around Locke, right? Locke is never an easy, like, Link Joker is not an easy opponent, right, whatsoever. So you always have to kind of keep that in mind and play around that. But yeah, hopefully I got to show off. Like, honestly, Vanguard didn't even come in, but I think it's the use of Vanguard is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's literally just like stacking triggers, and I clicked on the wrong deck. I do not want to show Messiahs again. But yeah, I hope I got to show off Wise Man, and game 1 we got to show off the other first strike turn. Obviously, like, if we didn't have a locked front row there that turn, I think we would have just gone for Vanguard and tried to, like, push. Honestly, I don't know, like, we didn't have enough soul for it. Probably would have gone into Doom Brace again and, like, made bigger columns, but the stand trigger there also put in a lot of work, and I think it was pretty nice. The only misplay we had was, like, you know, calling down the carry and then overcalling it with this. Obviously, it wasn't very good. I could have used Doom Brace to power up the carry. That's, like, the better play there on that first strike turn, so, you know, definitely could have played that better, and I definitely need to learn a lot with this deck, but it's really fun. Honestly, Fenrir, Genesis in general is really fun, and, like, I think it's come a long way. Like, Yggdrasil was also pretty enjoyable, but it was literally just, like, haha, garderstrict.com, but this deck is like cool combos, like managing your time, managing your resources, managing your soul, managing your drop soul in your deck. Like, there's a lot of moving parts, and I think for people that enjoy these kind of combo decks, you'll have a lot of fun with Fenrir too. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck and fight. I really enjoyed filming this one too, because, you know, getting to do like all these like cool combos is really fun. Not every card got to shine, obviously. Like, you know, the Hesperus didn't get to shine with like the back row pops, and like we didn't get to really show off like the power of Hati and like becoming a soul booster. But hopefully you guys can experiment with the deck, and of course, try out other ratios, try out other kinds of cards for this deck too, because there's so many different ways you can take this deck, and it's really fun. So yeah, that is going to be it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a like if you did, and of course let me know in the comments which other deck and fights you want to see in the future, especially stuff from set 4 and 5 collection that I haven't covered yet, like Sanctuary Guard. If there's things like that you want to see, or if you want me to just go ahead with set 5, like show off Night Rose, show off the new Thawas and things like that, let me know in the comments as well. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, as we're getting closer and closer to that sweet 50k. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.